but we also have our own automotive division. So machining is our middle name.
Welcome to HWACHEON, and I'm my buddy Bob here. Now, Bob, you've been running around all day long. It's been tough to catch up with you, whether it's presentations or customers or all the machines. I had to take a breath just to try to keep up with you today. How's it been?
Fantastic. We had a great event today. It was our general open house, and the public just poured in.
Yes, and it did, and it was really some great vibes here as well. Some good questions that were going on. Existing customers, one of them I had 50 machines since 2016.
Correct.
Another one, high precision in the aerospace world. Some great technology implementing in their facilities. I saw a ton of your partners as well. I mean, partner after partner just bragging about what you guys are doing. And I think this has been really valuable for you guys here as well outside of Chicago.
Absolutely, absolutely. We not only had people from Illinois, but we had people from the surrounding collar, states. We had a lot of visitors from Wisconsin, and then coming up from Southern Illinois. So it was a great time meeting our existing customers and future customers.
It was, Bob. And as we started to take a walk over to our entry-level machine, I actually saw some guys here from California.
Yes.
I saw some guys from Texas.
Yes.
I mean, all over the country, they're just coming to spend time with HWACHEON and the HWACHEON team. I'm gonna let you stand on this side, my friend, just in case there's some monitor stuff, because we all know FANUC and the ability that FANUC gives us. So we're starting on this turning center. This is kind of, as you would describe, an entry-level machine. What goes into this machine?
Well, this is our CUTEX series. CUTEX series is defined with a linear weigh system. It's a very modular design. So we have a full line of these CUTEX machines, but the 180 is our most popular. 180 AL YSMC. So it's the full boat. We have Y-axis built into the machine, sub-spindle live tooling for milling with C-axis. So it's got everything any job shop could want.
It sounds really impressive to be entry level, right?
Yes.
But I guess
yes.
what you get when you deal with HWACHEON, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit more about this machine before we head over, because I'm curious. I'm an entry level machinist. I'm looking to get into the technology. When I see the YSMC, when I see AL, when I see all the capabilities on the inside, where do you think, from your perspective, Bob, knowing your technology way better than I do, where would you say, you know what, as a machine shop, by investing in this machine, you can take what you were doing and enhance it to this level based on whatever technology? Could you go into that a little bit?
Right. Well, if we look at the CUTEX 180 AL, we have two versions. So this is a 6-inch chuck. So this is for smaller components, maybe aluminum into steel as well. Typically, a job shop would maybe want to put a bar feeder on here and get one and done. You have a sub spindle, so we're spitting out the part complete. That's the most effective for even low run to high volume run, so a wide range. I say entry level, it's not really entry level.
It doesn't
right?
feel that way. It's still got so many bells and whistles to it.
Absolutely. We load up every HWACHEON, so the job shop who purchases doesn't have to get nickel and dimed by little components. So I'm putting tool presetters in here, parts catchers in here, live tooling. It's everything that the job shop could want.
I don't like being nickel and dime, so I'm grateful that you're doing that, first of all. And so you mentioned aluminum, you mentioned some steel, obviously automation, throwing a bar feed on here. One and done is one of my favorite things to hear about. I mean, when we're talking about multiple operations, putting into one, putting into a box afterwards, it's so very important. However, you do have an upgrade to this one as well, don't you? Just right across the way over here. And this one, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I know I say that a lot, audience, but I like to be corrected when I am wrong. It's important for you guys to get the truth, and I'm not just making things up, but this is your best seller in a lot of departments, right?
Absolutely. As you can see, it's a different name, but it's a horizontal turning center. The HWACHEON series, now we're looking at box weigh technology, so heavier duty turning on these machines. We have 3 different models in this version, or the HWACHEON version. It's an A, B, and C. The A is an 8-inch chuck, so that's very common for North America, 8-inch turning. The B is a 10-inch. And then we have a C, which is also a 10-inch, but absolute monster torque. So really heavy duty machining. So this brings you up to a different level of turning. Now you can do some hard turning and heavy duty turning, whatever your application may be.
Well,
but again, it's YSMC, so everything's included in it.
Of course it is. Of course, because that's what you get when you work with HWACHEON.
That's
but
right.
I have to ask you, because when we get into the boxways and we think about that durability and strength and those heavy cuts. In fact, one of my favorite noises, and I'm gonna do it poorly, kind of goes when you're making a really pure cut.
All right.
But are we losing speed? Are we losing accuracy? Is it just about that high, heavy cut, or are we also incorporating that precision, incorporating that speed along with the rest of the machine?
Absolutely. Yeah, we don't take anything away from the product. We're starting at this range, you know, the high-tech 230, which is an 8-inch, and we go all the way up to that monster 32-inch in the horizontal range. 6 meter long, you know, or even in our flatbeds out to 17 meter long. So we don't take anything away when we graduate from the small all the way to the large. It's still high performance. It's still high precision all the way. So even from the CUTEX to the high-tech, the precision level is all there.
Well, I'm gonna do the whole Captain Obvious thing, Bob. I have to do it, but it's important that the audience gets the answers that they deserve on a regular basis, and that's, as we've slid from one turning center to the other, still bar feed, still, you know, one and done. Everything we talked about before is here as well, right?
Nothing missing.
Nothing missing.
Nothing missing. So all these features are standard. So you have the tool eye, the parts catcher, the sub spindle, the live tooling, it's all in one package. Now, with that said, we can simplify the machine as well. So if the customer is only looking for a 2-axis lathe, a chucker, maybe a tailstock, we can provide that as a modular system to any one of the machines I'm showing you.
Like you said before, we're not nickel and diamond, are we? We're making sure that these people are taken care of.
And all of our machines are based with the FNUC control. So we're using the latest FNUC controls. These are the Plus series controls from FNUC. You know, it depends on the product we're quoting. It could be a 0i, it could be a 31i, it could be a 31i B5, you know, all Plus controls.
Common, right? FNUC controls make it a common machine. When any machine shop, you can place it in there. People understand the FNUC controls, which I think is important.
Yes.
Now, I'm a little bit excited, and I kind of want to skip because I worked in the world of graphite for a while, and you actually have a high precision machine dedicated just to graphite, don't you?
Yes, we do. We have a complete series of graphite machines. We start with the G1, the HIM G1, and these are true graphite machines. So they're designed from the floor up. We're not doing any add-on, taking a vertical machining center and saying, oh, we have a graphite package.
Which I've seen far too many times, my man.
Yeah, but this is a machine completely designed for that industry, right? The mold and die, electrode manufacturing, or, you know, simple graphite applications.
Well, as we're talking about the machine and our camera person's moving around, we have some great examples of graphite on either side of this machine. But as we're talking about it and we're looking at those samples, looking at the inside of the machine, when you say dedicated to graphite, is that what this giant box is all about
yes,
here?
That's
and how
the
does this work, Bob?
vacuum system. So the machine is designed again with the exhaust ports for the graphite. When we're machining graphite in here, usually you got black dust everywhere. But not with this HWACHEON machine. It's pressurized, it's pulling it out. It stays clean throughout the day. Yes, of course, there's maintenance that you have to do. You have to change filters occasionally, but this machine, people are very impressed with. And we have 2 levels here. What we're looking at here today is the G1 Pro. We have several customers who are doing high accuracy electrodes, and this machine takes it up to the next level. We have the standard machine, which the accuracy is superb, and now we bring out a probe with a higher level geometrical tolerancing and a couple other features that we do in the machine that brings it into a micron level application.
You know, Bob, in a previous lifetime, I used to help people machine in small diameter, high precision, high accuracy, high RPM, and you would not believe how many shops I went into and they're just trying to turn non-graphite machines into graphite machines, and they're ripping them apart, whether it's with coolant or running dry. I mean, these machines, the bearings are getting ripped apart, every single axis. I mean, to me, I love this technology because it's so necessary, and we're running graphite around the world on such a I mean, you mentioned electrodes, which is obviously the go-to, but people are running graphite all over the place.
Yes, they are.
Is this, and I don't know this answer, so I like to ask questions I don't know the answer to. Is this one of your better selling machines as well? At least in the graphite world, I would imagine.
This is a home run.
Yes.
It's a home run. It's priced very competitively. Matter of fact, it's probably one of the better priced graphite packaged machines. That's one point. And then the other point is its reliability. Reliability through the roof. And just like the lathes, what we looked at, we don't nickel and dime. This machine is ready for full automation for your electrodes, robotic load through the side of the machine. We have a side auto door. It can be interfaced with your common electro products out there.
I think I'm ready to buy about 5 of them. You got 5 of them for me, Bob? Are we ready?
Absolutely, we stock
I know there's
them.
some audience members out there looking for about 5 of them as well. Maybe more, maybe 10, who knows? So
here's some examples of some of the electrodes that we can machine on there. So any configuration, and then it depends on the level of accuracy you're looking for, whether you go with a standard or you go with the pro.
I mean, it makes sense, and this is beautiful work here. I mean, look at all those tiny holes in there. I mean, truly, truly beautiful work. And as we step over to the next machine, this is not an entry-level machine. I'm using the wrong words, but you described this to me in a way of it can do a lot of different things, and it's really user-friendly. And although you found a really great spot for it in mold and die, it really can be utilized in many areas. Would you mind going over that as well?
Sure. This is the Vesta series. So this is really our parts machining, vertical machining centers. And the most popular vertical in North America would be your 40/20 size machine. So that's the most common you'll see in a job shop or in manufacturing. What we've done here is HWACHEON always, I would say, over-engineers or overbuilds because they want always quality and reliability. So there's quite a few features in this machine that give it a level up performance from everyone else. This particular model we call our Vesta 1000 Plus. Again, we have different spindle levels you can go to. Well, we put a 15,000 RPM spindle now on this one, and we're putting kind of like a mold die package together, a high performance mold die package. Again, all the bells and whistles standard in the machine. And we're kind of targeting precision machining and mold and die machining with this package.
When I hear you say 15,000 RPM, and I also hear in the same sentence mold and die, two things almost conflicting go in my head, but maybe not with 15,000, is the higher I go in RPM, the more torque or horsepower I lose from my spindle. Yet when I think of mold and die, I typically think of very hard materials. Whereas in this combination, you really can do both, right? This isn't a finishing machine. No. This really is working in mold and die with some good RPM for those smaller diameter tools while not sacrificing too much of the torque and horsepower. Is that correct?
That's correct. The unique feature on here, one of them at least, is our spindle. Our spindle is a HWACHEON designed and built spindle for precision.
Done by you guys. This isn't outsourced by anyone, specific to you.
All of our spindles, from the lathes to the machining centers, they're all HWACHEON technology. This spindle happens to be a completely cooled spindle. We're using air oil blast to the bearings, so we're cooling the bearings, and we have a cooling jacket completely around the spindle. So we're able to, right out of the box here, control that spindle growth within 4 microns, plus or minus 4 microns. This is not a standard precision. It's not a high precision. This is considered super precision.
I'm
right
impressed.
Out of the box.
Are you guys impressed? I'm impressed. I have to get really close to the camera. Sorry about that. You don't want me that close. But Bob, I am really impressed by this technology. And I know we're gonna slide a little bit more, and we're looking at another 3-axis machine. And there's some great parts over here showcasing what's been done. But as we're getting into the next realm of machines, we're just constantly creating more precision and accuracy. Is that
Yes.
the route we're going, Bob?
Yes, that's correct. Just like on the lathes, where I have a CUTEX package and a high-tech package, I have on the mills a Vesta package for general purpose, and now we jump into our serious package.
Our serious package.
No pun intended.
Is it really called the serious package?
Serious. The shining star in the heaven, you know, the
Yes,
largest sun in the
very
heavens.
bright. I look at it almost
Yeah,
every night.
yeah.
Near to Orion's belt, actually. So you didn't know we were going to get into this conversation, did you?
So that brings us to the next product level, which is a high level. Typically, we design these platforms towards mold and die. We're one of the champions in mold and die. I would say HWACHEON overseas is one of the leaders. And we have a full lineup here. We start with a brand new machine called a U1. Then we have a UM Plus, which we're standing in front of, and a UL Plus, and then a UX. So the whole gambit of high precision mold and die or high precision machining. These machines are built completely different than what we saw on the Vesta. The Vestas are more C-frame type machines. These are bridge style or wall type machines. So this is the highest geometrical tolerancing you can find in a machine tool when they're designed this way. Now other manufacturers do it as well when they get into the high-end product, but we do a couple unique things in the background here. We isolate the whole casting. We're looking at thermal displacement. And that's very important that you can control that not only with the spindle, but also with the frame itself. These spindles are different than what we saw on the Vesta. The Vesta,
But still made by?
Made by and designed by HWACHEON. The Vesta I showed you was an air oil. This is called an oil jet. So now we have a closed loop of cooled oil shooting directly onto the bearing, keeping that thermal displacement to a minimum on the spindle. The spindle's the hottest point on the machine. So if you could control that, you can control a lot of your geometrical deflection. So on this one, we're using an oil jet spindle. So on all the U series, we're putting this high technology in to give you a different level of accuracy.
Is there anything you guys don't do?
Oh, probably not.
Well, if there is, you'll probably figure out how to do it, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
So when I'm looking at this, you mentioned mold and die on the last two machines. You mentioned it on this one as well. If I'm a customer and I'm looking at this machine, because you also just threw in so much technology and precision that goes along with it, can it be used outside of mold and die?
Oh,
can
yeah,
it be used in
absolutely.
other areas as well? And as a potential customer, where would those be? Any part of the industry, or are there specifics?
Well, on the Vesta line, that's your general purpose, right? So you're looking, we have a wide variety of sizes all the way. This machine that we just showed you could fit inside the largest one. So we have a wide variety on those. So that's your parts machining. Here, I say mold and die, but it's precision machining. So we have a lot in the defense industry, aerospace industry. They're using it as well. And the big up and coming industry, the semiconductor industry. So we have high hopes of expanding in that industry as well. We're already a big supplier overseas and here in the States for the semiconductor. So it's not just mold and die. It's a wide variety of industries.
I kind of knew that answer, but I always like to make sure that the people watching, we convey that message. And you didn't mention medical, but I imagine if people wanted to, because high precision there as well, right? But
absolutely.
You're right about semiconductor. Now, as we slippity slide to the left over here, now we're getting into the world of 5-axis, but we're keeping all of that precision technology you just mentioned. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And even with the 5-axis, we have two different levels. We have the D series level, that's more of your general purpose, but still high precision, super rugged. And then we jump into the M series. The M series takes you to a different level again.
Does the M series mean making money?
Absolutely, absolutely. You always make money with HWACHEON due to its reliability and precision.
Reliability and precision. I'm going to go back to reliability. Precision, we're hitting on. It's important to understand when we talk about precision, to have a part come off of the machine and not be good. I mean, that's got to be one of the most frustrating things, especially because I know all of these machines can be automated. So what happens if we leave for the night or leave for the weekend and parts are scrapped? That's where precision comes into play. But reliability, Bob, I mean, let me take a breath because I get frustrated. It gives me a little bit of chills as well when I think about it. Nobody wants a machine to go down. And I know you guys pride yourselves and are superior at service and support when necessary. But the worst thing is just regular breakdowns because it's been 3 years or it's been 4 years. And you guys don't have those issues, do you?
No, not really. We took a look at over the years. You know, we know how many spare parts we sell and we know how many machines we sell. It's a simple math, and we were shocked. So over the, let's say, 3-year period through the warranty, the average cost for a WACHEON was only $258. So
I'm gonna need another 5 of these apparently.
It's incredible. So the reliability, but you know, it's the way WACHEON designs the machine. They take, you know, their time in designing the machine. I always look at it, oh my gosh, we overbuilt this machine, but it's about the quality, the rigidity. And we only use top-notch components in the machine. We're not, you know, putting inferior products that's driving the machine. The heart, yes, is the design and the structure, the rigidity, but then all the small subcomponents, you have to have quality there too. And we only use top-notch brands going into a WACHEON product.
Walking around here today, Bob, something that I felt a word that was being used a lot of the time was value. I would ask your current partners and friends and customers, why WACHEON? Why WACHEON? And a lot of times they would tell me a lot of what we've discussed already and we've shared with the audience, precision, reliability, but ultimately it came down to value. When they invested in the machine, they were making money, hand over fist, doing a good job because of all of these components. Value, value, value. And I think it's important for everyone who's watching either this video or more videos that we do together is to understand that even though we see a price tag here, we must understand the value of a product years from now. And that's where it really comes into play, right?
Absolutely. That's, you know, when we're in the, with the customer and we're trying to sell them a new product, that's one point that many times is overlooked.
And it should not be. It's maybe the most important.
Absolutely. Cost of ownership should be part of the equation when you're buying a machine. What is the reliability of the product? You know, what is the precision of the product? That's got to be a major factor when you're buying a machine. It's not only about price. I'll be honest, we're not the cheapest on the block, but we have that reliability and that value that we can offer the customer.
You know, I've talked with a lot of machine shops out there. You've probably seen our videos once or twice through MTDCNC, and it only takes one of those machines where it's repaired every other week to make you want to invest right away in something a bit more reliable, a bit more valuable.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm not here to kick that same dead horse over and over again because we could talk about that topic for a long time. But let's slide on over to this last machine that you have in your showroom. And it's another 5-axis machine, which looks to be a little bit bigger of a footprint. I see that it says D3, but D3 is not the only size you have. If I'm an audience member watching right now and I'm learning about WACHEON in this moment, where does this machine stand out and why, as a potential customer, would I consider it?
Well, we started out with the D2, so that's a 600 millimeter table. And then we put automation on there and we can change the table size back and forth. But customers were looking for bigger parts. They wanted to get into a larger platform. So we looked at that customer, what their wants are, and we designed this 800 millimeter table.
Just for your customers.
Just for our customers.
I like
we
that.
listen to our customers.
I like
That's
that.
one of the strong points of WACHEON. We're not just mass producing machines. We're listening to them and we're fine tuning our machines to be more and more reliable. I was in a conference with the founders of our company, the Kwan family, and I was in a meeting with the chairman Kwan. And after our board meeting, he looked us in the eye and he says, WACHEON, remember this. We're trying to make the perfect machine tool. That's our goal. Not mass production, but the perfect machine tool. So we listen to our customers and design machines around their needs. And the D the D3 here is because of a customer need. So a larger platform, same machine like the D2, the same rigidity. These machines have 50 horsepower spindles in them. I mean, they're heavy duty machines, but customers need a larger platform. So this machine would be designed around more structural components, 5-sided machining, or you could do simultaneous. It could be a big impeller, a big bliss, or what have you in the aerospace industry.
I've talked to one of your customers who loves this machine, just might I add. And for people watching right now, check out that video also. But what he really loved about this machine, and maybe this was part of the design as you listen to your customers, thank you for doing that, by the way, because we need that. In an industry that's so diverse in so many areas, there's not a one-size-fits-all. So thank you for listening. To everyone at HWACHEON, thank you for listening. But also, what he really loved was that this machine, when we think about 5-axis machining, oftentimes is let's cut a little lighter, let's not go as deep. Occasionally, let's use softer materials. But he says, in this machine, I can rough and finish because both the accuracy and the rigidity is in this machine to go with the robustness of the size, which I guess is kind of needed when we get into bigger parts anyway, right?
Absolutely. You know, we look at it, HWACHEON, yeah, we make machine tools. We're also a foundry. We also are a components manufacturer like chucks and cylinders and gears. But we also have our own automotive division. So machining is our middle name. So we understand from the customer's point of view what is necessary. And that's part of satisfying the customer needs because we have our own needs that we're trying to satisfy.
Absolutely love it. You know, and normally this would be the end of the conversation as we've gone from turning centers to graphite machines to a do-it-everything machine to high precision and then into the bigger 5-axis. But I have one more question because it's kind of just behind you. What is going on here? This Vision Plus system looks like a machine monitoring system. Is that what I'm looking at?
Yes, that's right. We have our own 2 systems. One of them is Envision Pro, and then we have another Envision Plus. In conjunction with that, we also have a new CNC that we didn't touch on, which is the Harmony Control. So this
I like the name.
Incorporates everything together. HWACHEON designs a lot of software platforms. Again, we machine, we understand what's needed in a CNC, and we design software around that. And this happens to be one of the pieces for monitoring the machine. So we can hook up all the machines. Every one of the machines in the showroom is now hooked up to this, and you can see exactly what action's going on. You can even print out reports to see what the uptime is on the machine. And you can see the exact status, what's going on. Not only that, this is hard to put in your pocket, but you can download it for your cell phone or your little handheld tablets, and you can monitor it offline.
You know, I was just going to ask you if I could put this in the airplane with me. I didn't know if you would let me or not, but I guess since I could put it on my phone, it'll be okay.
That's right.
Well, Bob, as we close this out, with the last message, something you want to convey to the audience, I look around, I see smart machining solutions, I see made by HWACHEON, made in Korea, simply quality. Is there anything that you have as a professional, been doing this a long time, a final closing statement you'd like to share with the audience today?
Well, first of all, we like to say we're a family, HWACHEON family, right? And when you become a customer, you become part of the HWACHEON family because we care about our customers. We're listening to the customer, we're improving through the customer, and we're designing new platforms for the customer. We listen to the customer.
I think that's very important. I hope I'm half as good of a listener as you are and as HWACHEON is. We really appreciate your time. I know the audience loves to learn more about products that will help them create success in their factories, in their facilities, things that are reliable, much like yourself, Bob. You're a very reliable person. Thank you all for watching. We appreciate your time. We know how valuable your time is, and I hope this has been as beneficial for you as it has been for me. Bob, thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you.